Cecilia Braekhus is a bad woman, and she's been around for quite a bit in the women's division of boxing at welterweight. We're talking going all the way back to pretty much March of 2009, where she won the WBC World Welterweight title against Vinny Skovgaard in a 10-round unanimous decision. She has since gone on to become undisputed at welterweight, and even when she lost her title in August of 2020 against Jessica McCaskill, she got right back into the thick of battle just a few months later with a rematch, and she lost the second unanimous decision to McCaskill. But that never stopped Braekhus from competing. And this Saturday, October 4th, the former champion will enter the ring once again for two titles that are currently in the possession of Ema Kozin as they face one another in Norway. This is a big-time fight for Kozin because she's taken on the former undisputed champion. And to see her go in there and perform against Braekhus is going to be quite interesting, because the tale of the tape shows something exclusive. Braekhus is now 44 years of age, and she's 5'7.5" with a 67-inch reach, a Colombian native fighting out of Norway. She's returning home of sorts. But Braekhus is the type of fighter that brings everything, and her victories are well beyond the two losses that she has on her record. The record of 38 wins, 2 losses, and 1 draw. And of course, those 2 losses are to McCaskill. And that majority draw came with Terry Harper, and that was in October of 2023. Braekhus is a strong fighter, and as she gave an interview with Boxing Scene, link will be in the description, she talked about where she finds herself currently in the sport. She says that when she's back in Norway, there's nowhere to hide. There's no escape from the past and no escape from what waits her in the future. On Saturday night in Lillestrøm, Braekhus fights Ema Kozin for Kozin's WBC and WBO super welterweight titles. The fight offers Braekhus the chance to become a world champion in a second weight class, having previously dominated welterweight for 11 years. It also marks the first time Braekhus will have boxed in Norway since 2017, as well as the last time we will ever see her in a ring. To be honest, right now there's so much training, I'm too tired to even think about it, this being the last fight of her career. She told Boxing Scene, "Right now it's just day by day. I'm just setting goals for the next training session and focusing on my task. Today I had 4 brilliant sparring partners coming in at me in the gym. I'm also in Norway now, so I'm doing a lot of media in between training sessions. This morning I did the Norwegian morning show, and then I had a newspaper follow me at sparring. It's very good to be home, but being in Norway, there is of course a lot more media attention than when I have camp outside of Norway. It's a very small country. Before returning to Norway to finish her camp, Braekhus had spent 4 weeks in London, England, preparing for the Kozin fight along with her trainer, Jonathan Banks. It was there in England she could hide and focus only on what was important, the present, the immediate, the fight. There in England, she was seldom reminded that this fight, her next one, would be her last, and that the outcome, October 5th, she would be known as a former boxer, not an active one. She says, London has been kind of like my second home when I'm fighting in Europe, Braekhus. It has often been my base. I have some incredible friends there in the boxing community, and we get everything we could ask for to have a great camp. I love being in London. We're like 5 minutes away from Big Ben, so I run around that part of the city and experience the city from that point of view. Training camp there was just amazing. We did lots of hard work and had some great sparring. Be that as it may, there was only ever going to be one place Braekhus would finish her camp and indeed her career. That place, for Braekhus, was always going to be Norway, her homeland, the country in which she was raised and when she was first learning how to box. More than just her home, Braekhus feels she owes Norway her final fight. After all, it has, hard as it's been, is believed now, professional boxing was banned in Norway for 33 years until Braekhus fought to have the ban lifted in 2014. She says that was funny. Professional boxing had been illegal in Norway since 1981, and yeah, a girl had to come and take down that ban. I fought in Norway for the first time before a sold-out crowd in Oslo. That was definitely one of the highlights of my career, so I kind of have to have the last fight in Norway just because Norway took down that ban for me. This woman is incredible, people, and as she goes about finishing up her career, which has been a sweet one, she's thinking ahead and reflecting on the past, all the while focusing on the task at hand. You know, fighters like Cecilia Braekhus, she's going to go into the Hall of Fame as a great. And it's just unfortunate that women's boxing is only now getting the luster that it rightfully deserves, because so much of what she has accomplished prior hasn't had the opportunity to be celebrated like some of the ladies of today. And I would ask anyone, as long as there's film out there and video, to go back and watch her accomplishments. Seeing that she had been an undisputed champion reigning for so long, and how she has done so much for the sport just as she's done in Norway. This is why fighters like her need to be put on Front Street, and they need all of the press, they need all of the coverage, and all of the opportunity to speak and show and set the example for others who will come. She says that I was the first undisputed female world champion and the first woman to fight on HBO. So I'm extremely proud of everything I have achieved. I've never wished I had come along a little bit later. Of course, it would have been great to be part of the Olympics, but I just got to be part of something else. I got to be part of the generation that paved the way for these young fighters today. One of those young fighters is Ema Kozin, a 26-year-old from Slovenia, who in 2023 defeated England's Hannah Rankin to become the WBC and WBO super welterweight champion. As the owner of those two belts, Kozin, who's 24-1-1 with 12 KOs, now has the rather inevitable task of making her first defense against Braekhus. in a fight promoted as the final bell. In other words, Kozin knows the story and her role in it and knows exactly how the people inside the Nova spectrum will expect and want this story to end Saturday night. I saw her fight against Hannah Rankin, said Braekhus. I actually thought Hannah could have won that fight. It could have gone both ways. It was a very close fight, but it was a little surprising that she won the decision in England. With that being said, she's a very good fighter. She's a southpaw, which is always challenging, and so it's not going to be an easy fight at all. She has the belt for a reason. She beat Hannah in England, and I'm sure she's now intending to do the same in Norway against me. But she's not going to come to Norway and do the same thing she did in England, because I feel like boxing-wise, I'm superior to her. I think she's going to be very aggressive and physical, and I'm going to box her. That's the way I'm going to win. She's very strong, and she's very tough, but boxing-wise, I'm better. You know, I look forward to seeing the fight between Braekhus and Kozin, if not only for nothing but just to see the closing of a chapter of a wonderful career. There are so many fighters who deserve to be celebrated, just as Cecilia Braekhus, and so much respect to be granted. Hopefully, things will align and she can have a fairy tale ending to it all. But come what may, the one thing you can always hang your hat on is that whenever she stepped into the ring, she was one fighter who was going to give her all and defend it in the most prominent of ways as a champion. Salute to Cecilia Braekhus, and good luck to her in her future endeavors. This is Stormy B-Man. Shout out to the mighty LDBC and Liberated Perspective, a third eye view of the world. For more content such as this, please like, comment, subscribe, and share. Let me know your thoughts about Cecilia Braekhus. Where does she stand in the books with you? And leave comments and let's discuss further. Peace to everyone out there, and everyone please remain safe.